So welcome, everybody. This is Dr. Grace Telesco. I'm with the Fishler College of Education School of Criminal Justice. I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Dr. Maria Levy-Mincy. She's from also from our college. We're colleagues together, and she's with the Department of Human Services. I'm with the School of Criminal Justice. And so thank you so much, Dr. Levy, for joining us. And I know you have such a very busy schedule. So we really, really appreciate, midday, you taking out the time to be with us and help co-facilitate this experience that everyone is about to see. And before we get going, I just want to say a little bit about what you're about to see. So this is called sociodrama. Now, sociodrama is educational theater. It's using theater and improvisational techniques to raise consciousness, raise awareness, educate people about various social issues. Today's issue is child protection, really human trafficking, and the target population, the victim population, is young children, young people. In this case, it would be young adults. This is based on a true story. We won't talk about the facts of it yet. We will talk about that when we're debriefing. But the way this works is that the audience members get to interact with the characters. When I say freeze, I'm going to freeze the scene at certain points and see if we can get some discussion going. The scenario itself is a great springboard for discussion. There's going to be 3 scenes that you're going to see unfold. Now, as I said, this is all based on a true story. The Sociodrama Club Stage for Change has been working on this for a while, for a couple of months now. And the interesting thing is that sociodrama is not supposed to be done on Zoom. It's not supposed to be done virtually. It's supposed to be done in person. But given the fact that we're still kind of getting used to coming out of our houses and getting to do things in person, we thought let's do this one online and also maybe reach a larger audience. So this is being recorded. It's live streamed on YouTube, but many of you are also attending live through that webinar link. So Dr. Levy, anything that you want to say before we get going about maybe the subject matter, about yourself, anything at all? Dr. Levy? I think she froze. Okay. So, we are getting a cold front is coming to South Florida, but that's not really why she froze. Something happened, but she'll come back. So what I'm going to do now is, without any further ado, and I do want to welcome all of the attendees. We have about 18 attendees. And we also have Dr. Kushner is with us. So I'm going to promote her to panelist as well and make her a co-host so that she could share her camera with us if she wanted to. She could say anything she wants. Promoting her to panelist, and once I get her as a panelist, I'm going to make her a co-host. You don't feel any pressure now to have to share if you don't want to, but you have the privilege to do so now. I welcome all of our. Oh, there's Dr. Kushner.
Excited to be here and thank you so much. I'm excited to watch. As always, you do a fantastic job, Sociodrama Group and Dr. Telesco. So thank you, and I'm happy to be here to watch.
That's great. Thank you so much for being here and such an amazing support that you are, the executive dean of our college. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to ask everybody to turn their cameras off. I'm going to ask for the ensemble to get ready. When I say action, the scene begins. And so that's the reason why not everybody has been made a co-host, because I don't want any distractions. So make sure you're on mute unless you're one of the ensemble members, and make sure your camera's off. So without any further ado, behind the mask, scene 1, action.
All right, mom's working late, get to play this game all night. Let me see who's online real quick. I'll send some invites to my friends.
Hey.
Hey, the Alpha, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
What's up, Soph and Summer? So you guys ready to play?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, awesome. We need one more, so I'm gonna have us join a random lobby, and never know, maybe we'll get to play with a streamer or something. All right, joining that lobby now.
Oh yeah, finally got some players to play with.
No way, guys, it's Wildfinger.
God.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
No way, I got some fans in the chat. What's going on, everybody? Y'all ready to get some dubs in this game?
Of
Yeah.
course. Dude, I
Hell
watch
yeah.
your streams like all the time, like all the
You
time.
do. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. So you know about my new Red Bull, man. I'm so excited about it. I'm gonna get Red Bulls for everybody hooked up now.
Oh, bet. Awesome, awesome. Well, let's run some dubs, huh?
Let's get it started, man.
All right, guys, I'm gonna start it in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go.
Yo, flank, 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 flank. Other side, other side.
Got your back, I got your back.
Alpha, beside you, beside you.
So cover me, cover me.
There you go, Cod. Go, 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 go. All right, two down, two down.
All right, Alpha, I got your
Get the third,
back.
get the third. Some are behind you, some are behind you.
Got him, got him, got him.
Oh my God, wait. Res me.
Oh, I'm coming,
Res,
I'm coming, I'm
res.
coming.
All right, fourth down. Where's the last one? Last one.
Now,
Cod behind you,
I'm
Cod
pushing him, I'm
behind you.
pushing him.
That's nice. Boom. Done.
Let's go.
Let's get
Hell
it,
yeah,
man.
hell yeah. Awesome.
Easiest dub of my life, dude.
Oh wait. Shoot, my mom's calling me. She's about to be home. I'm not supposed to be playing this late. I gotta run, guys.
Whoa, wait. Before you go, man. You're really talented, and I mean, you got a very, very cute voice. Do you think you can stay and maybe we can talk about being a streamer?
I mean, I'm not good enough to be a streamer, but like, I mean, come on.
Well, just send me your details. I got you, man. Don't worry.
All right, I'll send you an invite, but I gotta go real quick.
Freeze. Okay, I'm gonna have Dr. Levy, please come on. And all of the characters stay put where you are. And I think Dr. Levy, did we lose Dr. Levy? I really hope not. I think we did. Okay, well, she's probably going to try to come on, relog in, I hope. So I want to ask a question. Brendan, well, I'm sorry, I happen to know your name, your real name, but your handle is Codmaster. So tell me, Codmaster / Brendan, who are you? Who are these people? What's going on? Explain it to some of the older generation that may not know what the heck this is about.
Yeah, okay. So this is my little like group. Like I'm Codmaster. I play with the Alpha, Soph, and Summer all the time. So basically we will all watch Wildfinger's streams. He's a famous streamer, so like he gets paid like so much money to play video games. He's like the best video game player I know. And we just were joining a random lobby and like we got to play with the Wildfinger. Like it's crazy.
That's great. Okay. Wildfinger, what, like, could you explain to our audience like the importance of this? Because, for those of us who may not be in the gaming world, and most people your age are kind of in the gaming world and younger even. Yes. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, I draw an audience because a lot of people who are still trying to learn the game. I mean, I've spent years playing these games, and I mean, I've developed some skills that are amazing. And where I take younger kids like this and I show them the ropes of how to play and get better. And, I make a lot of money off of it too.
All right. Well, here's what I want to ask you a question that probably you are all eager to know. What's the reason for the mask? Why do you have a mask on?
Oh, my mask, it's funny to hide the identity. I think it's cool that the kids, they don't know who I am. It's like a big curiosity. It makes my drawing even bigger because no one knows who I am. Everybody wants to figure that out. So it makes me more money, gets me better deals. It's awesome.
I see. I got it. Okay. So let me ask some of the other players. We've got Soph 605, the Alpha 29, and Summer. So you want to tell us, you just go around and start with Soph. What draws you in? What's the attraction here to this game? And can you explain to us how it works? Go ahead, Soph.
so Codmaster / Brennan, I know him from school. He got me introduced to it and everything. At the beginning, I didn't know anything about it. And we kind of became friends with this kind of little circle here. And we've been trying to find a fifth person.
Okay. So when
begin.
you get when you come across this guy Wildfinger, you're familiar with who that is? Is he famous?
Yeah, yeah, very
Yeah,
famous.
yeah.
Everybody who
So
plays knows him.
it's impressive. It's impressive. Okay, Alpha 29, and then Summer. Go ahead.
I mean, I've known Brendan since we've been friends online for like a while, and like we've played together sometimes, and I joined this little group, and we do a little bit of like shooting games here and there, and I mean, this is honestly the first time we've ever played with anyone like so popular. Like, oh my God, it's freaking Wildfinger. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of insane. Like, this is not something you just come across. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's cool. So again, really like starstruck kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, can't believe it like that. He did this guy who's so famous is actually playing with you. Cool. Summer, what do you think?
So same as Annie, same as Sophie and the Alpha. Like when Wildfinger joined onto our like lobby, it was really cool to see that like someone famous who's streamed all of his life or most of his life is joining our little like private gaming party. So it was really cool to see that.
Awesome. All right, great. Let's go to Dr. Levy. Dr. Levy, what did you notice, if anything, that was going on during that first scene? I mean, there's some things that just seem so innocent and earnest and pure, but there's something else going on. And I think there was a little bit of a hint. Did you pick it up?
I did when he said, you're so talented, kind of, and like pushing a little bit to make connections, and just the whole flattery thing, right? This whole ability to make a child feel really, really special by saying, oh, well, you're so good at this game, and I'm such a good player, and I think you're so good, and I want to play with you.
Yeah.
Right. And my
Right.
parents, oh, I gotta go. No, stay. To
Yes.
kind of like make the parents out to be kind of like annoying and like, no, stay with me, play with me. So kind of like just being mindful of the fact that it could be innocent, but the constant focus on the talent seemed like a red flag for sure.
Exactly. And I want to ask now the audience. I want to bring the audience in. Anyone who's an attendee that would like to raise their hand and have some interaction with the characters if you want to, if you feel so moved. I'm wondering if anybody picked up, there were two like pieces of information that telegraph what's going on for this kid, Brendan, the main character here. Did anybody catch it? Anybody want to venture to guess? I mean, this is an interactive webinar, so if you want to, you could raise your hand. Madison, excellent. Go ahead, Madison.
Yeah, I noticed too, whenever they were having their little interaction at the end, he's kind of snuck in there and said, hey, your voice is cute, which is not something you really want to say to somebody. So,
exactly. A little inappropriate there. Red flag. Something's not right. Why would he do that? That it was a bit of an inappropriate sexual connotation. It felt like just an ick factor, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Agree? Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Anybody else want to put their 2 cents in? All right. Well, I noticed something about Brendan. He said something. Brendan, I'm gonna bring you on. I'm gonna add the spotlight for you. Because Codmaster, that's his handle, that's his gaming handle, but his name is Brendan. And Brendan, how old are you?
I'm 15.
You're 15. And I noticed, I don't know if anybody else caught this, but you were kind of talking out loud to yourself before you started inviting your friends to play the game with you.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Can you remind us?
So I'm not supposed to be playing video games like this late at night, but my mom's working late again, so I thought I'd be able to play like all night, but she unfortunately came home early.
Can you tell us a little bit about your mom, if you don't mind?
Yeah, well, she's like a single mother. Her dad left a long time ago, so I mean, she works really hard and does her best, but I don't really get to spend a lot of time with her. But at least I have my friends like in the game and everything, like that's kind of where I spend most of my time.
Yeah, and so is this kind of a consistent thing where she works late?
Yeah, most nights.
Yeah. Dr. Levy, you want to tell us how this makes Brendan at risk?
Absolutely. So if he's not really supervised, then that gives the predator the opportunity to kind of like swoop in. And it's not just a lack of supervision, but it's also, he may be lonely and like kind of long for connection. Like he appreciates that his mom is working and supporting the family. But at the same time, it's like he's missing out on the opportunity to, spend time with her and kind of have someone there. So oftentimes video games are a way for kids to connect to one another. And they can connect at any hour of the day, any time of the night. They don't have to leave their house, right? And I noticed too, like, Brendan giving information like, oh, my mom's at work, so I can play. Like, so that lets the other person who he doesn't really know something about what's going on in Brendan's household. Right. And kids don't think about it when they make these kinds of like comments like, oh, my parents aren't home, or oh, this, but that's something that a predator, can listen for, because then that gives them the opportunity to say, oh, well, this kid's not supervised, so he's more at risk because, he can connect with the child easier.
Exactly. Exactly. So is there anything else that anybody wants to add before we go to scene 2? Anything at all? Any one of the, I actually want to bring on Alpha for a minute. Alpha 29. Just 1 minute. I just want to ask you a real quick question before we go to the next scene. So I'm adding the spotlight for you. Here's my question. Did you catch when he said cutie? Did you catch that?
I did. I thought it was a little bit weird, but then I kind of brushed it off. Maybe it's just like his way of like being like endearing. I didn't think anything. Like,
you didn't think it, so it didn't hit you. It didn't hit you in a strange way.
No, not really.
No. Did it hit Summer? Summer, did hit you a little bit? Yeah, you want to talk about it? Go ahead.
Sure. It did hit me a little bit, but as the Alpha said, I just was like, oh, it probably is how he talks to everybody. So I kind of picked up on it, but I didn't like even think about it much. So
okay, fair enough. Well, let's see what happens. Before we go to the next scene, though, I do want to just tell you that there's a couple of nice comments in the Q&A here. Anne Marie, who is one of our PhD students in the PhD program. We have a PhD in criminal justice, and we have a bunch of outstanding, brilliant students with us. And Dr. Levy also teaches in the PhD program. So Anne Marie says Brendan was online playing when his parents told him not to, and he's doing so while she's at work. And I think Dr. Levy kind of addressed that, right, by saying, yeah, that's a problem. There's a couple of like bells and whistles go off. Lisa Keeler says, this is the story of my life with my 16-year-old. He is on Roblox every night. How do I deter this? Dr. Levy?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to make a comment. So it is hard, especially as the children get older. Having a 16-year-old, I have an 11-year-old that's on Roblox all the time. And one of the things that I tend to do is I have her kind of like on a private account where she's only allowed to be seen by people that she's friends with. And I try to monitor and make sure that she only accepts friendships from people that she knows, because I don't want her on there with people I don't know just completely because of this, right? But then that entails the parent having to become like educated in like how to go into Roblox, like how to open up the settings, how to take a look, and kind of make like their profile private, or make it so that when they're on there playing there, they can potentially play with other people but not be contacted by other people. So there's different things that you can try to do to help keep them safe. But I told my daughter, listen, there are people on here that are not children, and they sound like they're kids, or they act like they're kids, but they're not. And so I've already told her, like, don't ever give any information to anybody about where you are. Like some of these apps, like Snapchat, for example, is an app where it shows where everybody is on a map. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. Like, I don't want anybody,
Wow.
even these other, her friends, like seeing where she is on a map. Like that's kind of creepy.
Very
so creepy. It's kind of like, being kind of an educated consumer and watching and kind of looking at who your kids are talking to and what they're doing. I mean, you can't be there all the time, but you can let them know, like, hey, if somebody says something that's kind of weird and makes you feel uncomfortable, like, let me know. Like, basically what, the compliment about the voice, right? And most kids tend to like brush those things off and don't tend to find them, creepy, because that's not how they think, right? But letting them know, like, if something kind of seems a little bit weird or not right, it's probably not. And just educating them and having them not like play with people, again, that they don't know. It's one thing to play with your neighbor, the kids down the street. It was great during COVID, because it allowed kids to stay connected. So Roblox was a great tool, like Minecraft, but you really do have to watch what they're doing and who they're talking to.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that Dr. Levy is in charge of child protection program. Yeah. At the
Yes, I
school?
am. That's
Yeah.
correct.
So she's a subject matter expert in this area. And, I'm so old. I'm too old to understand any of this, like seriously. This goes back to like when I was a young child, or when I was 14 or 15, it was like, don't talk to strangers kind of thing. But today it's mind blowing. Technology is wonderful, but at the same time, it becomes a very fertile ground for predators and human trafficking. And, the interesting piece of it, we just had a great seminar, a 3-series seminar on human trafficking, and, knowing that South Florida is actually,
The Mecca.
we're winning in that area, and that's, not something that we want to be winning in. So this is timely. And like I said earlier in the introduction, this is based on a true story. So let's see what happens. Let's go now to scene 2. I'm going to remove our spotlights, Dr. Levy, and we're going to shut our videos off, and the ensemble is going to come on for scene 2.
Well, mom's gone late again tonight, but at least I got some pizza money. But actually, let me see if Wildfinger's on. I haven't played with him in a little bit. That'd be crazy if we get to play together again. Just gonna send him an invite.
Podmaster, what's up, buddy?
Yo, long time no see.
Yo, what's going on? I got a new controller, man. Let's get it ripping, man. What do you think?
Awesome. Let's get some dubs again.
Hey, before we start, your mom's not gonna interrupt us again, is she?
Nah, man, she works like 3 jobs. Like, she's never home. Like, tonight we can play, I promise.
3 jobs? Well, you know what, man? Why don't you try and make some money? What if you became like a streamer? Like, come to Los Angeles with me.
What? A streamer? I'm not good enough, dude. I'm not as good as you.
Dude, are you kidding me? With a handsome face like that and a voice that everybody would drop to their knees, dude, you can make so much money off this, man. Just think about how much publication you could get from this.
Are you serious? Well, what am I supposed to do about like school and stuff?
Who needs school, man? I didn't go to school, and look at me, man. Everybody loves me. I'm in LA. I go to parties all the time. You can come to parties with me, man. You'll have all the girls with you. You have everything you want there, drinks, whatever you want.
But I'm only 15. I'm not old enough to party. How old are you?
Man, hey, no one knows about that and needs, just no one cares about your age is what I'm saying. Just come to be a streamer, man. You'll make so much money. Your mom will love you for the extra help, and just think you could be the next Wildfinger, man. Could you imagine?
That would be crazy. I get what you're saying. Are you serious right now? Like, are you just?
You know what? I'm about to hop off my stream, and let's get you like on a flight to LA, dude. We can make this happen now. Pack a bag.
Okay, I can't believe this. I'm gonna go pack a bag right now, and I'll send you my info. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about, man. And just don't tell your mom, man. We'll make this a surprise for her, okay?
That's awesome. Okay, I'll see you soon.
All right, see you, cutie. Let's do this.
Freeze. Well, now the plot thickens. Dr. Levy, yeah? What's your reaction to this? Oh, wait, I added the spotlight. Do that again. Do that again. Yeah, right. Oh no.
Yikes.
Yes.
I mean, listen, these people are very manipulative, right? And so he took the information that Brandon gave him and used it to tailor this into something that looks really good to Brandon. Like, number one, you're going to surprise your mom and you're going to make all this money so you can help her so she doesn't have to work so much. right? So giving him that motivation to be like, oh, I can help my family doing this, right? But then, and then also like, oh, I'll send you, oh yes, I'll send you my info. You'll fly me to LA, like get me a ticket, like, no, like he shouldn't be sharing his info with anybody. He called him a cutie. That was another kind of a, ooh, oh my goodness gracious. And Brandon's like, ready to hang up and go run and pack a bag and not tell his mom so he could surprise her, right? And so on Brandon's part, I mean, there's nothing from his eyes, it's not even like he's doing anything bad or deceitful to his mom because he thinks he's doing something to help his family. So it's a really manipulative tactic here to kind of just take that little bit of information that Brandon shared. And he didn't even share that much about his life, right? He just shared that his mom works a lot and, he's alone and his mom's a single mom or whatever. And that's all he needed. That's all Wildfinger needed to just kind of like, gave him a platform really to just kind of like, step in and kind of pull, try to pull him into something.
Yes, exactly. So before we go to we have a ton of comments. We have some comments in the Q&A. We've got comments on YouTube. So and we've got a lot of people who are also watching us on YouTube right now. So I just want to get to them, definitely. But I want to just ask Wildfinger, I got to ask you a question, man. All right. As a former lieutenant NYPD, I want to reach through the screen and I want to strangle you. But
you sound jealous.
No, I'm not jealous. Believe me. I want to know what your MO is. Can you tell us the truth? Or are you afraid to?
No, I can't spoil that. I'll lose all my sponsorships.
Well, what's your intentions with Brendan?
Well, Brent, look at him. He's probably one of the most handsome guys I've seen and talked to. He's going to make such a great streamer. He won't need a mask like I will. He can just do whatever he wants, and he's getting so good at the game. I just want to make him famous. I want to make his mom happy.
So are you really bringing him out to LA? Is that real?
He's going to be the next star.
No, you're not answering my question, right? I'm asking you a question. Are you planning on bringing him to LA? Are you really going to get an airline ticket? And are you really going to have him meet you in LA?
I already sent it to him. He's going to be on that flight by like tomorrow.
Brendan, what the heck, man? Seriously. What are you thinking right now?
Wildfinger is like literally a rich, famous streamer. Like this game is my life. Like I'm trying to go do this. This could be huge for me.
So you're going to get on a plane without telling your mother?
Yeah, I mean, she wouldn't notice for probably 2 days anyway.
Wow. Dr. Levy, you want to comment on that?
What's
really going on? What is Brendan's saying one thing, right? He's saying this sentence. She probably wouldn't notice anyway for 2 days. But what is he really saying under that?
Well, he's saying that that he's not really paid attention to, and that she wouldn't notice where he was and what he was doing. And so that tells me that, he doesn't have a close relationship with his mom and he's not supervised by her. And he probably is vulnerable about it and would like to have an adult or somebody who takes interest in him, just like Wildfinger is here.
Exactly. So it makes this victim extremely vulnerable and at high risk for a predator to swoop in and save the day and be that knight in shining armor, so to speak, right? Because those who are targeted for this victimization and this critical trauma, they have these kind of characteristics, right? Do you want to talk a little bit about those characteristics?
Yes. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So they tend to be vulnerable. They tend to be looking for connection. And they may find it in inappropriate places, and it's not on their radar because they really want to be able to have the opportunity to connect with someone. He probably really wishes he had an adult caregiver that, took more interest in him, and he can understand, intellectually that his mother needs to work for the family. Right. But on the underside, you've got, all these risk factors. You've got somebody who's vulnerable and who wants connection, and then somebody who kind of has a financial need, right? Because the family has financial issues. So he feels like he could be helpful to her in that way. And then that could help him to then get to the goal of having a closer relationship with his mom, right? But we all want to have relationships and all, and then having this opportunity to be the one to actually be like a celebrity in this gaming world.
Yeah.
So, and that's something else, this vulnerability of wanting to feel special, wanting to feel, like have something that, again, that's going to draw people to you. Right.
Yeah.
And so those are all things that make him really at risk, and the fact that he's alone, and that there's not somebody, if his mom is gone for a day or 2 days at a time, she won't know that he's not in the house.
Right. Right.
And so
would you
those are all
say,
things.
well, how does self-esteem, how does any other special needs that a child or a teenager might have, how does that play a role in creating this fertile ground for victimization?
Well, I think that basically what happens is children that are more sure of themselves and don't need affirmation from other people, and that have a stronger sense of self, are able to set limits and say no, and are able to kind of be like, wait a minute, that's not right. I'm not doing that. But in this case, it's like when you have a low self-esteem, low feelings of worth, and so forth, you just want somebody to love, somebody to love me, somebody to want to be my friend, somebody, right? And so that does create this ground for, instead of thinking this might be kind of weird, or I'm a little uncomfortable with this, even if he was uncomfortable with it, he was going to go for it anyway, because any feelings of discomfort would be taken over by his feelings of desire for connection.
Yes, exactly. So Dr. Levy, I'm going to go to the Q&A now first, and then I'll go to some of the YouTube comments. Anne Marie says, too many red flags deterring him from school. Brendan provided too much information to the player, won't reveal his real age, etc. So danger, danger, danger. Nakia says, oh my God, not good. Use the information against him. Also sounds like a sexual offender to me. You get that feeling, right, Dr. Levy? This is a sexual predator.
Yeah, especially with the cute voice, the cute, the cutie. That kind of gives me the indication that he wants something more from
Yes.
Brendan, for sure.
Good. Samantha Flores says kids are also taught that surprises are good. Even if you teach your children not to keep secrets, surprises can be seen as a loophole. So Wildfinger telling Codmaster that it'll be kept as a surprise for his mom is also manipulative, because he thinks it'll be good or fun to surprise his mom. That's an excellent, excellent comment, Samantha. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that was what we said. We did say that too, like the fact that, oh, you're not doing anything wrong, because it's going to be a surprise and she's going to be so happy.
Exactly. Naomi says he's not getting attention from his mom, just like you said, Dr. Levy. So he's looking for attention and approval from an online figure. There's also a mystique to the anonymity. There's an anonymity here with the mask, and it's very mysterious, and it can be very engaging and tempting and luring. There's an anonymous, speaking of anonymity, there's an anonymous attendee that says, my heart goes out to all the mothers raising kids, having to work long hours, have to figure out how to protect and pay attention to their kids. We have to take more collective responsibility for children. So sad. That's excellent. Thank you so much for that comment. So let me tell you some of the comments from the YouTube viewers who can't share with us their voice or their microphone other than chatting. So here's from Keldon Shepard, one of our PhD candidates. The famous gamer complimented the child, and it was also odd that he tried to keep the child behind and left it open to get the kid's contact information. Absolutely. Tranika says Codmaster was also on an open network where anyone could log in. There's a lot more comments here. Jessica Ortega saying this is a red flag. Definitely red flag. and especially with the cute comments, very creepy, all of that. All right, so let's go to the last scene. Dr. Levy, anything last word on this scene?
No, I think we really covered it. I mean, we kind of picked it apart, and I think it's really interesting, and I can't wait to see kind of how it unfolds.
Okay, so now my favorite part is coming. Here we go. I'm going to remove my spotlight, and we're going to spotlight our FBI agent. Action.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just had this one last interview for the sting operation working on. Yeah, I know. I'm hoping this goes well, and I'll have the report ready for you by the end of the day. Let me just log him in. Hello.
Hi, my mom told me to join this link for the FBI. Am I in trouble or something?
No, we get that all the time. All right, Brendan. My name is Special Agent Kenneth Mulford, and I am working for the FBI in the special unit for human trafficking. And I have your mother's permission, so don't worry about it. I just have to ask you some preliminary questions, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, okay.
All right, cool. Let's begin. All right, so how old are you?
I'm 15.
Okay. And do you know the streamer known as Wildfinger?
Yeah, I watched his streams for a super long time, and I just started playing with him a little bit.
Okay. So prior to you playing the game with him, did you watch his stream at all?
Yeah, I've been watching his stream for like a year or so.
Okay. And have you seen his real identity? Has he like disclosed that with you?
No, like Wildfinger wears like the Wildfinger mask, and it's like it's his thing. Like that's part of like his whole character. So I've never seen like his face or anything.
You don't find that strange that he invited you to game with him and he didn't reveal anything about him?
No, because that's what he is. Like he's Wildfinger. Like it's the Wildfinger mask. Like it's his thing, you know?
Okay. And did he ask you to meet up with him at all?
Yeah, after playing with him for a little bit, like he said he's gonna make me a streamer, so he wants me to come with him.
He wants you to go with him to where?
He's gonna fly me out to California, and I'm gonna be a streamer like him.
Okay. And does your mom know you're going?
Nah, she doesn't know, but I'm gonna surprise her because I'm gonna be making a ton of money, and I can help out around the house, and she's gonna be pumped. It's gonna be awesome.
You don't think that's odd? Like you don't think your mom will be worried that you'll be gone all the way across the country to meet this person that you don't know anything about?
I know him. It's Wildfinger, and like she's gonna get it.
No.
Like I'm gonna be a streamer.
You don't know him. You don't know him. You know him as Wildfinger. You don't even know how he looks like. Who do you know? How do you know to look? Who do you know to look like to look for in the airport when you get there?
I don't know. I have his like
All right.
I can message him.
Right. So let's just continue with the questions. So did he buy you a plane ticket?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the name of the airline?
I have it at home. I think it's Delta.
So you know the flight number, the name of the hotel that you'd be staying at?
I don't know the flight number off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I'm staying at a Marriott in downtown LA.
Okay. Did he say where he's gonna meet you?
Yeah, he said he'll be waiting at the airport. He just told me just to come just me, and he'll be waiting for me.
Okay. Okay, Brendan. Listen, let me tell you why I'm asking you all these questions. I don't want to scare you, but you're involved in an extremely dangerous situation. All right. So we have been investigating Wildfinger, whose real name is Kevin Gerard, and we believe that he is the leader of a human trafficking ring here in LA, Los Angeles.
No way.
So
he's Wildfinger. Yes. He's famous. What do you?
Listen, you don't know his name, you don't know what he looks like, and we know pretty much everything about him. So you need to trust us. All right. He is a major suspect, and he is involved in 20 missing boys, 3 of which have been found dead. So you need to take this seriously. Okay. So this is the plan. I'm gonna fly with you, all right? When you leave, and 8 of my colleagues are gonna be there to apprehend him. All right. It's important though that he believes that the plan is going as he expects it. You will be flying alone, and you'll be meeting him alone. That's what he needs to think. Is that understood?
Well, he told me to come alone, and what is he gonna hurt me? Like, what am I supposed to do?
Listen, Brendan, we will not let you be hurt. All right. We understand the severity of this case, and I will be fine with you. He won't know that though. You need to act normal. You need to act like nothing has changed. All right. You need to trust us.
Can my mom come with me? Like, what?
I already told your mom she's okay with it. In order to not bring any more problems to the situation, we need to go according to plan, which I will be in the airport, in the airline with you, the flight with you. So you need to not worry about that.
Can I call you back with my mom? I'm kind of scared.
Of course, of course. I'll be in touch.
Okay, freeze.
Okay.
Wow. Dr. Levy, you want to come on?
Yes, hello there.
What's your reaction, Dr. Levy?
Well, I think that the agent was a little bit scary, for sure. Even though he wasn't trying to come off that way, he was trying to give Brendan very important information about what was going on and trying to help Brendan to understand what was going on and actually what he's gotten involved in. So I think that I was surprised, but I also very happy that they were on to Wildfinger and that they've been investigating him and that they're going to have the opportunity to kind of, I mean, I'm not thrilled about them using Brendan as bait, but if there's an agent traveling with Brendan undercover, you know, that's kind of just walking behind him or with him, like to make sure that he stays protected. You know, maybe that's what the protocol is for that. But I'm just, you know, it's a lot probably for Brendan to take in also. And I feel like his mom should be brought in to discuss it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a disconnect for me, just a little tiny bit on the fact that the mother is not present, that we're doing it. It almost feels like a strategy of law enforcement that is mirroring what Wildfinger is doing. So Wildfinger is luring Brendan, and so is the FBI luring Brendan.
Yeah.
At the same time. So both parties kind of manipulating this kid. The reality behind all of this is that there would probably be an undercover agent if there was a true sting. That let me just give some reality here, that in all probability, it would be an undercover agent that started being involved with the gaming, making believe that they were just a regular kid, but they were an FBI agent. So this is an example that may be a little far-fetched than all of our law enforcement people that might be watching going, no way that ever happening. But there are times when we have victims that we can actually use those victims to help us in enforcement strategies and enforcement initiatives. So I don't want us to get hung up on the nuance of that piece of it, but I do want to talk a little bit to FBI agent Kenneth for a minute. So I loved the fact that you're about to take this guy Wildfinger down. Like I'm really happy about that. And I'm hoping that nothing goes wrong, but so much can go wrong, right? When he gets off the plane, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. So that's number one. I'm a little scared for Brendan. I'm a little concerned that the mother wasn't involved. You're telling him that she's got she gave you permission, but I don't know. I'm not feeling that. I'm a little leery about this. I'm almost not trusting you, in fact, a little bit. But so I would want to know a little bit more information. I like this whole Zoom thing, no good. Where do you live, Brendan? Where do you live?
I live in Boston.
So you live in Boston. I'm sure that the FBI has agents in Boston. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, you know, this special agent is Kenny, you're from LA, you're from the LA office, but wouldn't it make more sense if we had an FBI agent who was from your area, who is actually in person with you, showing you identification, showing you maybe pictures of stuff that you've already discovered as a part of this operation. And, you know, more importantly, the rapport that you build is so crucial between a law enforcement agent or anyone who's a human service agent, let's say. The rapport you build with the victim is so critical. So, Kenny, you were just kind of like, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. And you had kind of tunnel vision a little bit, right? Do you want to talk a little bit about, you know, what your MO is and like what your background is?
Of course. Yes, I understand the severity of this case, so I just wanted to get the facts across, make sure Brendan understands what's happening.
So, you know, when we're involved in an enforcement strategy or sting operation, like, you know, you mentioned that this is what this is, we get tunnel vision. We have a tendency to, we want to catch the bad guy at all costs. But in the process, Brendan is being victimized. And so there's got to be some trauma that's being triggered in him because you're telling him that 3 boys were killed. So Dr. Levy, any suggestions to the FBI agent on maybe how to build rapport a little bit more, a little stronger, a little bit more validation, a little bit more empathy, a little bit more, anything you want to talk about?
I mean, there's so many things. I think that, I mean, I liked the way he started off by saying, you know, like, you're not in trouble, right? Because of course, when you see a cop or an FBI agent, a kid thinks like, uh-oh, I did something, I'm in trouble, right? But I feel like just kind of, he was very formal. And I know that sometimes that's the way some people are that way by nature, but kind of taking it down and knowing who your audience is. So you're not talking to an attorney or a judge or a colleague, you're talking to a 16-year-old kid who's scared. So if it was your kid or your niece or your nephew, or somehow to try to get them to think about what it would be like to talk at kind of at a lower level, and to kind of like start out with some basic conversation, like about who Brendan is and the kinds of things maybe that he likes to do, just to get him talking about himself, or even letting him know, you know, this is who I am. I'm an FBI agent. You know, I've been in touch with your mom. We're very concerned about your safety. You know, there's a bit of a situation here and it's very serious, but the way he said it was so, just kind of in a very, he kind of, everything he said sounded punitive.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
punishing, blaming, criticism, little judgment in his
like,
voice.
You know, like, what are you, you know, like, where, you know, what does he look like? And, you know, are you aware that you don't even know that what the guy looks like? What is he going to do? Show up, show up with the mask on? You know, that's kind of, it's a pretty judgmental way to talk to somebody, to make him feel even worse about himself.
Right.
In that situation.
But, and also I just feel really like scared. And one of the members here on the YouTube chat is saying, hey, what if this FBI agent is working with Wildfinger?
Absolutely.
You know, like, there's so many scams out there now. You know, we could go on and talk about cybercrime and all of the scams and fraud that's happening right now. How do I know you're really an FBI agent? I don't see anything behind you that has any FBI virtual background, although anybody could get that. I don't see your ID. I don't see anything about you. How do I know this is real? And so there's even many, many more layers to this than meets the eye. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to break character now and have everybody come back on for a minute. We're going to break character. Here we go. Awesome. I'm going to spotlight everybody. And there's Wildfinger. Let's start with him. All right. Tell us who you really are.
Oh boy. Hold on, let me just do this now. Well, my name is actually Josh. Basically, I've a retiree from the sociodrama. I had a little bit of lunchtime, and I figured I'd come and help out again because I love the effect that we always get from this. As I can see from the Q&A, it's very good to see that even since we have like some of the PhD students who are parents and stuff, that they're able to. This is the crowd that I think needs to see this more because even like Dr. Levy said and how you were saying, it's very important to keep track of this, and there's very many ways that we can stay safe from this. And one thing I used to always say, I still stand by, as long as we get to save one of these parents or we get to teach one of these parents that to monitor their game and to see who they're talking to and to keep up to date with who they're gaming with. It's a very fun, safe community. However, there are always those one or two creeps. So as long as you stay safe with them, keep in touch with your kid, love them, like I said, we're going to save more than one kid, I think, today. So.
Yes. And thank you, Josh, because you're not no longer a member. You'll always be a member. Let me say that you'll always be a member. You have forever membership with us, but I know that you're not really in the club anymore. You graduated with your bachelor's degree from our amazing undergraduate program in criminal justice. Shameless plug. Okay. So thanks again, Josh. Really, really appreciate it. And you creep me out every time. You do such a good job of creeping me out. And Kenny, I would like you to go next. And I want, you were set up really because you were given these questions and you were given the situation. The truth of the matter is probably wouldn't be like it is in reality. We'd have a little bit more confidence that you are in fact an FBI agent, that the mother would be present. But what was it like to work on this program, the sociodrama program today, leading up to it? What was it like for you? What did you get out of it?
Right. The suggestions really helps because I feel like rapport is extremely important, like any profession, whether it be the criminal justice profession or medical profession. Rapport is extremely important to get your message across. So obviously my character played the complete opposite. Like my job was to just scare or intimidate Brendan because I wanted to get the point across that this case is like dangerous, like this person is dangerous. So I tried my best. So it was pretty informative, like especially the comments and the suggestions.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for your time and effort in this program. So let me go to Alpha 29 and then Summer. What was it like for you, Kate? This is Kate Alfaro. She's one of our longest members. I don't want to say oldest members, but in terms of tenure, you started with us 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're graduating in May. And are you a CJ major?
Yeah.
Yes, you are. I know, in our amazing undergraduate criminal justice program. Amazing. Tell us, what was it like to be a part of this program?
I mean, first and foremost, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not really good with my words. So I've written everything that I wanted to say down. So bear with me. And I'm so sorry if it might sound a little fake, but trust me, it does come from up here. Trust me. So, I mean, in all honesty, this whole topic, it's pretty scary to think about. I mean, the world of the internet is so large and vast, you could easily get connected or in contact with someone across the world, ranging from different ages, backgrounds, and they could have different motives, aside from your own. And being that the sociodrama is focusing on human trafficking, I think it's important that we spread this message, even if we don't really see or hear about this kind of stuff in our everyday lives. So believe it or not, in 2019, Florida was ranked 3rd in the country for human trafficking cases, coming in just below California and Texas. And that's saying something, considering that California and Texas are 2 very populated states. So, I mean, all in all, I hope that you guys learn something from our show.
Excellent. Thank you, Kate. I'm going to go now to Summer. Where did Summer go? There she is.
Yeah.
So she's really not Summer. She is Michaela.
Yeah.
Michaela, tell us, what was it like to be a part of this? What'd you get out of it? Anything else you want to share with the audience?
So what I got out of it was that like these things happen every day and we're not necessarily knowing about it. Like if we're not watching the news or stuff like that. So it's good to touch on this issue today. And also, as Kate said, like even if we change like one person's lives on the live today, that would be a good thing for tomorrow, because then it will save someone's kid or even person, like family member, from getting kidnapped and like human trafficked and stuff. So it was fun to make.
Great.
Fun to do. Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, and to make. I mean, we develop it together. That's how we roll. Is that we talk about the issue, we come up with ideas, and we implement those ideas, and then we rehearse them. So I'd like to hear from Kenny for a minute. Do you have anything you want to share with us, Kenny, about human trafficking and any stats?
Right. It's important to excuse me. Right. Yeah, it's important to make sure you identify who you can trust. Like trust is very crucial. So children can see a figure and they'll be the most influential figure because they ask them questions, they invite them to things like Wildfinger did here. So it's important. That trust is important, and that could be like a false trust because Wildfinger obviously has other intentions, like more negative intentions. So that trust that you build with that target is important.
Yes.
Can I make a comment here?
Yes,
as
please.
well?
Come on in.
So one of the things that Brendan said during the interview was, I know him. Right. And Kenny was like, you don't really know him. And he's like, no, I know him. And I think that there's this tendency, particularly among youth, to think that they know people that they meet online. And you think, oh, well, he's got credibility because he's a gamer. Like, that doesn't mean he's a good person. That doesn't mean that it doesn't mean, or even like, a lot of kids will have a Instagram page or like a TikTok page, right? And they're like, oh, I got 30 likes or 40 likes or 50 likes, right? And it's like, likes aren't friends, and that's something that I have to remind my daughter of. Sometimes she'll pick up my phone and be like, oh, mommy, you got like whatever number of likes. And I'm like, it has no impact on me, right? But they go on and they look for that. They're like, oh, like you got 20 likes on my video. I want more followers. Like, and you're like, followers aren't friends. These aren't people that you really know. They're not really people, for the most part. When you have like 1,000 followers, they're not people that you're close to. They're not people that you know. And so I think it's important to be cognizant of the fact that children especially believe that, oh, well, we play online. I know them, and it's like, you really don't.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. This day and age, you just have to just assume. I assume that everyone is lying until they prove to me otherwise.
Oh my goodness.
Okay? Well, I mean, that's my law enforcement background. I mean, I'm suspicious. I don't believe it. Show me the money. You got to show it to me. I don't believe you. You send me an email and you tell me that here's my receipt for something that I know I didn't pay for. The key is to look at who is the sender. Click on that. If it's a Gmail account or any other account other than like PayPal, there's a problem. Somebody calls you and says, we need you to come right away down to the precinct because there's a warrant for your arrest. No. Hello, I'm from the IRS and I would like, to get your social security number so we could check your tax refund. No.
But the scary thing about that is that there are adults who fall for that. So think about how much more vulnerable a child is.
Absolutely.
Because children are less likely to be suspicious of everything. I mean, there are certain children that grow up in a certain kind of background that become very hypervigilant and become suspicious because of things that have happened to them to protect themselves. But, most kids are just kind of very, laid back, and they're not looking. Their automatic assumption isn't that everyone's a liar.
Right.
They're usually looking for the,
that's the cynic. That's
looking
the New York cynic cop.
Listen, I'm the same way. You can't take it out of me, but
right.
it's hard. And, one of the things, one of the takeaways I just kind of want to make, particularly to the adults, is like, it is important to check in on what your kid is doing, because, you know, you think that they're playing in their room, you know, for a couple of hours, and you think they're safe in their room, you know, because nobody can get them. But when they're volunteering information about themselves, and again, they don't even know that they're doing it, right? They make comments about where they are, what they're doing. That makes them potentially at risk for victimization. And so they're not just safe if they're in their room and you're not paying attention and watching kind of what they're doing.
Right. And then there's a subculture here too. So there's a generational difference and a subculture. So it's like they're aligned with and feel comfortable with this group of people that they don't really know. And then there's these ties and these bonds that form. And then there's this like secrecy kind of thing. Like, you won't understand. I'm not going to share everything with the adults about what's happening here. So that's also problematic. Before we go to Brendan, who is going to tell us a little bit about where we got this from, I just want to read some of the chat. Nikia says, I understand the importance of evidence and having the victims work with you, but she felt there was an over-reliance for the victim to make the case, and that's unacceptable. Samantha says, Brenda's mom should definitely have been present for that conversation. Anne Marie says, she agrees with you, Dr. Levy, that she liked the idea that the feds are now involved. However, it's hard that Brendan will be the bait. Kerry says, I agree with you. Dr. T feels a little uncomfortable. She would think that an in-person interview with parental involvement should be the key. Jennifer's saying she thinks the FBI agent could have been friendlier. So yes, thank you. I think we touched upon that point. Lisa's saying she's got to go. Okay. A young girl was recently abducted by a guy through Roblox in Clayton County, Georgia. What makes adults find children sexually attractive? She's shaking her head. And Nikia says this is the first time attending this type of sociodrama. She really enjoyed the action, interaction, and the input from the professors. Awesome. Okay, good. Oh, Anne Marie, I'm with you on them lying until proven otherwise. That's good. Thank you. Okay. So Naomi's asking if there are any other stats on the rate of child trafficking through video games. I don't know, Brendan, I know you did a lot of research on this, but I'm going to spotlight your video, Brendan, as we wrap up with you telling us about this case.
Awesome. So just to address that last question real quick, doing some research in human trafficking and stuff, I saw with every year, there's more and more of a correlation between not just like video games in general, but internet use, social media, stuff like that is kind of what these human traffickers are turning to. Because as we've touched on this, it's very hard to supervise every part of the internet and who you're talking to and who you're not. So that's kind of a trend that is definitely going to be sadly continuing in the future, and why it's essential for programs like this. Just making this program especially hits home for me. Just seeing, like I said, how we see, especially younger and younger, and especially after COVID, the reliance on internet for children. This is the next thing that we're really going to have to like look out for, is that supervision on the internet. And I know it's hard, but this case, this sociodrama, we actually adapted from a real case in St. Petersburg, Florida, where two teenage boys were found in a trailer. One had been there for over a year. He'd been used as a sex slave, and they used video games and chat servers like this, especially one called Discord that's super popular now, especially with the younger generation. That's how they were meeting these boys. And one, I know it sounds like unrealistic for like my character to get on a flight to California, but in this particular case, through communicating through these chat rooms and stuff, the traffickers were able to coordinate and go, and they picked up the kid from Louisiana and brought him all the way down to St. Petersburg to use him as a child sex slave. So it's like, although it may seem unrealistic, you never really know the intentions of these people and the means that they have to convince someone that they're someone they're not. I saw some testimony in the case from children who were talking about like the app itself, and they said like it's so easy to, especially online, it's so easy to pretend that you're someone you're not, pretend that you're younger than you are, that you're more attractive, that you're famous, all these things. It's like you never know who you're talking to, really. So as Dr. Levy said, unless you really know that person in real life, I feel like it's essential to, especially at a young age, not to be talking to people that you just don't know. But
Yeah,
just-
so
I
thank
just
you. Go
pulled
ahead,
this-
Dr. Levy.
I just
Sorry.
pulled a stat, a recent publication by the FBI, that the FBI estimates that 500,000 online predators are a daily threat to kids. And more than 50% of victims are age 12 to 15. And 89% are contacted online through chat rooms or instant messaging. So if you can disable the instant message feature on some of these game things, that can, you know, potentially be a way to protect yourself. Or again, only having a private account where they're playing games with the kids that they know. Because, you know, unfortunately, this is something that we have to, you know, be careful for sure.
Yeah, I want to bring up something that one of our viewers is asking. How can people protect themselves with the increased use of the Randonautica app? And I would like to go to our students. Have you heard of this? Randonautica?
that's something I haven't heard of. No.
Well, it seems to be, it's some kind of app that it like tracks your coordinates, and it's a game. It's an app that was launched February 22nd, 2020, randomly generates coordinates that enable the user to explore their local area and report on their findings, which is very creepy and sounds like another fertile ground for trafficking and traffickers and predators. To know, it's what you said before, Dr. Levy, about like knowing, you know, being able to know where your location is, and track that information. So that's really creepy. So Brendan, was there anything else that you wanted to add? I kind of cut you off there.
No, I think I got it all in. It's sad to see that like we adapted all of this off a real case that actually happened in our state. You know, it's just crazy. And
yes. Yeah. And I just want to thank Kenny again. Kenny actually played the role of the victim, the child victim, a long time ago, 3 years ago. And actually, Dr. Kushner was in the audience. We were doing this for a child protection conference, I believe. And Dr. Kushner came up and was acting as either a law enforcement individual, someone who was doing an intervention for the victim, for the child victim. So Kenny, look, you've come such a long way. That was 3 years ago, and now you're the FBI agent. Look at that. That's awesome. I'm going to ask for all of the members to please come back on. I'm going to do this in gallery view so that we could see all of you. I just want to say thank you to these amazing students. These undergrads, yes, they're part of this club called Sociodrama Club Stage for Change. They don't get anything out of it. All of the attendees that are on, most of them are my students. Do me a favor, attendees, raise your hand if you're my student. Just go ahead and put your hand up if you are my student. Look at this. Yes, and that's awesome. If you're my student, raise your hand. Okay, awesome. Yeah, but they get something out of it. It's a quid pro quo. Dr. Kushner, Dr. Durham, please don't get upset. Offer a little, you have to offer a little bit of a carrot and a stick for this. But I do offer a little extra credit in some of my classes so that they'll attend, and I see that they are, and that's great. But these students, Brendan and Kenny and Kate and Michaela, well, they don't get anything out of it except the work itself that they love, that they're invested in. So we've rehearsed this over and over again. We've rehearsed this exact program on Sundays. I think it was a Sunday. It was during their spring break, and Josh, you too, you don't get anything out of this. It's not part of your job. You're just doing it because you love doing it and you love saving lives. Because I believe that sociodrama can save a life based on all of the issues that we deal with, all of these critical issues that people face. I just wanted to say one more thing, Brendan, shameless plug. let people know this is an amazing outpouring. I think we have like 10 people who stayed on YouTube. We had about 30 on the webinar. I'm really psyched. It's time for a commercial. Brendan, give us the commercial of what's coming up, and Dr. Levy, get ready for the resources. Go ahead, Brendan.
Awesome. So on the sociodrama side of things, we have sociodrama addressing bullying that we're going to try to we're going to be doing it in person, but we're also going to try to live stream it on the YouTube channel. So stay on the lookout for that. It'll be 12 to 2 on March 23rd. If you want to come to it in person, we'd love to have you in the Mailman Auditorium. And all of our remote viewers, check us out on the YouTube live stream. Also, tomorrow night at 7, Dr. T will be hosting Sharon Plotkin for a webinar on like CSI, crime scene services and stuff like that. So be sure to check that out. And one last thing, March 31st, we'll have Ed Denzel from the Unfound podcast doing missing persons cases. He'll have a new case for us every time he comes. That'll also be YouTube live at 7 p.m. So stay tuned.
Awesome. And all of the attendees who are my students for any of the 3 courses, please make sure that you email me, give me a little synopsis, so this way I can record it and I have that documented. Dr. Levy, we're gonna end with a resource for everyone.
Yeah, let me share my screen right here.
Thank you, Brendan.
So I'm hoping you guys can see.
We can. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this is just the National Human Trafficking Hotline. What I really love, by the way, is the ability to do a text or a chat, because I find that children are digital citizens and they don't even pick up the phone and make phone calls. So if they can text someone or chat with someone about what's going on, they'll feel more comfortable with that than calling a hotline, whereas I would feel more comfortable calling, but they tend to text. So I think this is really great that they have that ability to be actually able to chat. If they feel unsafe or if they think something weird is happening, they can just chat with somebody. And that's really important. And then in addition, on the left, we have our shameless plug of our program. So the top link is for our master's program in criminal justice. The bottom link is for our master's in child protection. And then on the right-hand side, we have some other resources for youth related to trafficking and kind of staying safe. So I invite people to, to utilize those resources, and just want to thank everybody for their time. And I was really happy to be part of this. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we can stop sharing for a second. I want to just again say thank you so much to Dr. Durham, our dean, Dr. Kushner, our executive dean, my amazing sociodrama club, Stage for Change ensemble members who, by the way, and I'll close with this, nominated for the third time finalist for the Stewie. And I want you guys to come. I want you to pack that audience, because I believe that this is the year. This is the year for us, right, Brendan? He's the president, and we got all of our other executive board members of the club as well. So again, thank you all. We went a little over, but it's worth it. And thank you again, Dr. Levy. You're the best.